Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, and this is not a fishing video. I ran out of reels, but I got a project to do, and I thought I'd share it with you. I want to show you how to make a birdhouse out of a coffee can and a piece of scrap lumber. In this case, this is an old shelf that's been just kind of sitting around. I think we probably all have something like this. This has got contact paper on it. Like, doesn't matter. Birds aren't going to come in contact with it. But let me show you what we want to do. We want to cut a board that's the width of the coffee can, something like this. I'm just going to mark it. And then we want to do the coffee can plus the width of the board for the second one. So I've got 3 marks here. I'm going to take that to a table saw and I'm going to cut that. For those of you that want measurements, in case you ever want to do this, the first board is just a 1/4 inch wider than the 4-inch coffee can. And then you want the one the width of the board, which is 3/4 of an inch, so the second piece is 5 inches. Once you cut those boards, measure in 2 inches . Then put your coffee can down, scribe a mark on the other end of it, and measure 2 inches from there. I can get 2 birdhouses out of this if I get another coffee can. That's the start. That's going to be a cut for the roof. Next, take your narrower board, the 4 1/4, and scribe 2 more pieces onto the leftover remnant from the first. On one of those pieces, put an X. From corner to corner. And then approximately midstream of one of the tags, make a hole for the bird entrance. About halfway between it. You don't want it in the center, you want it high. And then cut those pieces and drill that hole. This is what your pieces will look like. 2 long ones, 2 short ones, and one with a hole about halfway to the top side of it. This is the basic frame for your birdhouse. So let's go about installing it then. So the first thing you want to do is you want to mount the longer piece to the side of the shorter piece. That's going to form a roof. I'm going to use a 1 1/4 sheet metal screw for that purpose. And I've pre-drilled these only because my experiences in working with the pine is that it can split. So this is, and it doesn't matter what side you pick of your scrap wood, you can paint it later. And just let it be the way it is. So 3 screws is more than plenty for this purpose. Okay, next we're going to take that can. We're going to find the reference point that we had for the 2 inches. We're going to take one of our blocks, and that's going to become the back end of the house. This one you generally do not need to pre-drill because you're far enough away. One on the one side, one on the other. So this is what you do when your fishing reel business gets a little slow. Okay, now we want to put the open side of the can in. We're going to take the entry point this way. We're going to do the same thing. And if the can falls out, don't worry, that's the next activity. Okay, 1 more screw. Now this serves as a clean out as well. So when you're done with the season, if you have a nest in there, you simply remove these 2 screws because we didn't glue it. You bring this down and you can empty the contents of the can. Alright, well I showed you how to screw that on, but I want to show you how to do the can. So I'm going to remove that just as if we were doing a clean out. And I'm going to change the bit here to a drill bit, because we want to secure the can to the assembly. How do you do that? A drill bit. Just pick anywhere in there, it doesn't really matter. And then you want 2 screws, a little bit longer, maybe about 1.25 inches. And those are going to hold the can in place. You can probably get away with 1, but I like to put 1 on each side. Okay, so you drill a hole, pass the screw through that hole, take the nut for your screw, and insert it from the inside. And I know you're being blocked here. It's kind of hard to figure out which is the better angle to show you. I'll show it to you in a moment. Just tighten it down. I have a washer on the back of this screw, just so it doesn't walk away from me in the wood. It's going to be outside. Okay, and you'll see inside we have a screw there. That's not going to be of any harm to the birds. And then repeat the other side. Okay, so what we've done is we have 2 screws in there holding the can on. We've cut our narrow board, our board that's wider by the width of this. We took a piece out of this to make the back end. We took a piece out of this to make the front. We're going to just reattach the 2. And we'll put a hanger, a little hook eye on there. And this one will be ready for birds. So this one's built with a 1-inch hole. That 1-inch hole is perfect for house wrens, and we get those here. So we're going to put this one near our garden, and I'm sure they will be happy to see that. So that's pretty much how you make a birdhouse out of a coffee can and a piece of scrap lumber. So let's just go over. We had a piece of scrap lumber. We measured the first one a little bit wider than the coffee can. Why did we do that? So that the coffee can doesn't get exposed. We made the second piece, the width of this board, wider than the first one. So this was 4 1/4, this was 5 inches. Then we measured out the width of the birdhouse. I gave 2 inches on each side, knowing that 3/4 of an inch was going to be used by those side plates. We measured that out. Then we cut the 2 boards, attached them after we attached the roof with wood screws. We put the 2 screws in to hold the coffee can in, and then we put the 2 screws on the front plate after we drilled the hole, and that now that's removable. So if you want to clean the birdhouse out after the nesting season, go ahead and pull those 2 screws, take this plate off, clean it up, reinstall the 2 screws, and it'll make some bird proud. So there you go. That's kind of how to make a birdhouse out of a coffee can and some scrap lumber. Doesn't take long, and the birds will appreciate it. Hope you've enjoyed it.